You have to,
Yeah.
all right, cool. We're live. Bet.
Oh,
Look, and cool. So yeah, basically people trickle in, but yeah, we can kind of get started.
I
So yeah,
mean,
man. Oh, what's up? Oh no, I was
I
gonna
was
say,
gonna
yeah.
say. So, Dave, I was gonna say, dude, I like how they have the eyeball right there, so they know. Like, okay, I see Substack.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
okay,
yeah,
my
yeah.
bad.
The energy of these lives is so great. Um, so one of the founders of Substack, Chris Best, did one with Justin Welsh, who's like a huge creator that a lot of people are talking about right now, who just joined the platform. And it just feels like you're peeking into someone's like Zoom like one on one, you know? And I think there's something very special about that. Um, and so yeah, we'll keep it informal. There are no edits, there are no cuts. So we'll just roll with it. But I think it would be fun to just start with, what you're about, what you write about, what you're doing with your newsletter, why you're on Substack, and we can kind of take it from there. Yeah.
Okay, I can start with why I'm on Substack.
hmm
About 3 years ago, I went through a strong, is a weak case of grief and grieving and heartbreak. My heart was broken, and I like to say it was broken open, and I got to see a lot of parts of myself that were unhealed, untouched, just unseen, even. So I go through that journey, and there's a journey of being. Who am I? Who am I beyond what I do? Um, and one of the words that came up, one of the monikers was artist. I never called myself an artist. Always an athlete, an analyst, an educator, but never an artist. And I said, that's something I want to be. I want to claim that for myself. So I started a project and I did 30 paintings in a year and never painted a picture. Well, maybe as a kid I did, but never as an adult, at least not in my 20s and beyond. Um, and I say, you know what? I've always written poetry on the side. I want to do that too. And I still did that in secret, in my secret Google Doc. But I said, I need to work on vulnerability and being okay being seen. And that's where Substack came in. And I'm a design junkie, and I would love nothing more than to play with the design of a website and not put my words into the world. And I said, cannot do that. Is there a platform that would just allow me to put my words in, boom, and go? That was Substack. So I started Substack, and for 2 months, it was 20 of my buddies on the newsletter, and I had no idea there was a notes section. I had two
Ah,
months, literally had no idea. And someone liked one of my
did you
posts.
you
I
have
was
the
like,
app? Did you have the app or no?
no,
Okay. Yeah.
I still primarily use the web browser.
Yeah.
Not even on my phone, but like, yeah. And I was like, who just liked my piece? Who is this? And I started finding writers. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys are amazing. I need to subscribe. So I started doing that and build relationships. And so it started from essays. Then I started making something I called found notes. There were quotes or poems found in the quotes of other writers that I really loved. And I started sharing those. And that kind of blew up. And it was about 6 months into my journey. And I've been on Substack for this is a year and a half now. And it kind of blew up. And I was really surprised. People started recommending it, showed a lot of love. Then I realized I don't want to be beholden to any one craft. And this is like 6 months later. It's like
Mm,
I love doing these notes, and I've always just loved doing them because it feels like problem solving, like seeing someone and what resonates uh, in their piece, right? And it's just like this beautiful thing. And I got tired of it, and I was like, hey guys, I'm not doing that anymore. I I'd love for you to stick around, but if you don't, I that's okay. I
mm.
understand. There's a unspoken promise, or there's gonna be some level of consistency. Then I changed the name to just Jamal. It's like, 'cause that's all I can promise you. You're gonna get Jamal every week, guys.
There's so
And
much pressure and weight that you put on yourselves as writers, as creators, based upon like how you show up, how you identify, right, in public.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel you.
It's huge, and I am more likely to like instead of like cower in that, more likely to push it off, man. Like, nope, I don't accept. Like I did like saying I'm a poet. That is something that's really meaningful for me. That took a lot of courage, and that's here to say what do I identify as. Mostly it would be that, even if it's poetic prose or poetic reflections, I want that to be a part of what I do, or how I'm seen, how I see myself really. Um, then if this new series started, so this will be the third time I've changed
Because
the newsletter.
you just changed the publication name, right?
I
Okay.
did.
'Cause I was looking and I was like, wait a second, wasn't this just called Jamal?
What?
But
Hey, Old
no,
Daniel, was it? Who knows?
oh, yeah,
um. So yeah, so now it's talking to strangers.
yeah, I love it. It's amazing. Yeah.
I'm an extrovert. I'm an
Mhm.
extrovert, and I love people. And I know there's so many introverts, and I love the contemplation that occurs
Mhm.
because of that. Right, that just introspection, and that's something I have to fight for. But if you put me in front of a stranger in a group of people I don't know, I'm in heaven. So I wanted to explore that. What did that look like creatively? And so that's where talking to strangers kind of stem from.
Mm. I love it. I love it. Well, yeah, I've been following you for a while, and we met through a mutual friend, Jonathan Dodson. I'm trying to get on, but
Jonathan, I see you in the
but
chat.
yeah, it's a pleasure to finally talk to you one on one in real time. And we were talking before we went live about how I feel like I know you, but you're still a stranger, and this whole like kind of definition of what a stranger is, and just talking to random people on the internet and in real life. And it's funny. I feel like you can see someone every day at work,
Mm,
and they're a stranger. But you talk to someone virtually on the internet for 6 months or a year before you even see them in person, and they feel like a close friend, It's really, really fascinating.
So I would say the difference between somebody being a stranger and not as a conversation, and it's a moment. It is genuinely a moment. Over the last 2 weeks talking to strangers,
Mhm,
there's been a lot of laughs. There's even been tears this week as people
mhm,
open up. And I wouldn't say they're my friends now, but the next time I see them, it's a big hug. Right? We've had a moment, and they have been seen, and in some of those conversations, they've seen me.
mhm,
Through our writing, we get to see each other, and uh, I think that kind of takes that moniker away of stranger. Because once you
mhm.
see each other, man, it's something different. What that is, I don't know. Maybe it's an associate, maybe it's somebody you admire, but stranger is,
Yeah.
yeah, maybe not the right word in that.
Yeah, I agree. It's really incredible to me. I think that is something that's special about Substack. Uh, on June 11th, 2025, I don't feel like anyone is a stranger, really. Like,
Mm,
and you'll notice this in comments, right? Someone will post something on a note or in their newsletter, and sometimes people's comments are as long as the original post. Like, there's so much thought and care that people put into their responses
yes,
here,
yeah.
and you wouldn't do that, to like, most people wouldn't do that to, like, some random person, right? There's a deeper connection you feel with someone even though you've maybe never even spoken to them.
Yeah.
And it reminds me of, this quote. I don't remember who it's attributed to, but it was like something along the lines of, "You can be mentored by people you never meet,"
Hmm. Oh, yes.
and, like, how, like, reading a book could be a form of mentorship, right? Like, I'll never meet, like, James Baldwin, you know, rest in peace, but by reading his work over the course of several years and decades of my life, I feel like I know him, right? I
Yeah.
feel like he's a mentor. Like, what would James like do in this moment, right? Like, there's a lot of anxiety and kind of unrest in Los Angeles where I live. There's a lot going
Mm,
on. We've been in the national news lately for a number of different reasons, and you know, um, you can kind of think about like the greats in history and what they would do.
Mhm.
how they would handle this moment, how they would talk to friends that are directly affected by what's happening. What will you say? Like, how do you empathize and sympathize with people? Um, and yeah, it's like James Baldwin doesn't feel like a stranger that I've never met, right?
Yeah, I think about that. Mentors, absolutely. Bell hooks. One question from All About Love is:
Mm,
do I love myself? Do I know what love? I say two questions: do I know what love is, and do I love myself?
mm,
Forever indebted for just that. The book, it's leading me to those questions.
mm,
Forever changed. I think one of the beauties of reading other people's pieces, I get to see myself in them and feel a connection as we exchange comments. And I've seen some of the wonderful people who I love in the comments below. They help me to feel seen, right? And so we're going this back and forth. And this is what's really strange. The I see Amy and Messa, they have shared stories about grieving, about certain ideations, certain things, the losses they've experienced. When I go into the real world and talk, I say the real world. I shouldn't say that. We need to separate.
I
When
know what
I'm
you mean.
among people and we're having conversations, literally this week, someone lost their grandfather, and ended a relationship after being on the road for the last 10 years. They had lived in a van, just going around the country, and then these two events happen: the end of
Mm,
a relationship and the loss of a grandfather. And I can not maybe speak to it as if they need any advice from me, but I can listen and empathize, or at least sympathize in that moment because of their writing. Like, I may not have experienced it in its fullness in my own life, but I have been inundated with it in the best of ways, saturated in other people's grieving processes, and it's given me
mm.
uh, insight, and I think it's amazing.
That's powerful. Yeah. Um, yeah. So uh, I love the community and ability to connect with other writers here. And I'm curious, like, how would you advise other writers to try and tap into something deeper in themselves, in their work, to like make sure their kind of souls show up on the page, right? It's like for me, when I'm writing something for indie thinkers, like I really try and think about like how I can elevate the work of other writers. So that's kind of the vision of the entire
Yeah.
publication is, a discovery channel for writers. It's a space to, you know, um, tap into my desire to be like a servant leader and not a
Mhm.
CEO.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's something I've always really been attracted to is just elevating others. Um, but I'm curious, like how like is it like a filter that people have when they sit down and write? Is it concerned about what people will think? Is it not wanting to be vulnerable? Maybe your friends find your work and you're embarrassed by it. Like, what is it? What prevents someone from like actually? Because I feel like your soul is on the page. Like when I read your work, I feel like a very deep connection to how you're feeling when you're actually writing that, right? Writing that
Mhm.
piece. Like, there's no filter. You don't care what other people think. You don't care if, like, your boss finds this essay, right? There's no concern for the repercussions of what you're doing. Um, it's a very selfish it almost feels selfish, like, this is all about you, and, like, if other people like it, cool, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay. So there's so much in that, and I'm flattered. I appreciate that. As somebody who was had a low EQ for so long, and I like example, I didn't know my wife was depressed for a year.
mm,
Year. How do you not see somebody? Ooh, you don't want to be seen yourself. So you hide and you close your eyes in so many ways, and you have shallow relationships with yourself and others. I had
ooh,
that.
shallow relationships. Oh, man, that oof.
Yeah, yeah. And that was my way of being. I mean, I had some deep like brothers too, right? But in the norm for me was a an idea of I don't necessarily want to be seen in my fullness. because I'm not willing to look in the mirror. When I had to look in the mirror, then I saw myself and I saw all the parts, like I mentioned, that weren't so healthy. Then I see how beautiful I was, not like aesthetically, but internally, like, oh my gosh, there is real joy here. Despite all the things you've experienced, you have a real sense of joy. That's something to treasure. So the thing about writing, I started writing, as I said, to be seen because it was terrifying. And
Mm.
it's not terrifying now. It's still scary every time I hit post, like, and that's going to go out in the world. I hit schedule on Saturday because I always give it one more revision. I love editing. So I was like, let me look one more time. Is this how I want to say it? Not how will people take this so much as, is this the exact wording? And can I cut words? I love taking stuff out. That's my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
So it is, I say courage over confidence. I'm just showing up. I'm just doing the thing I know I need to do. And yeah, if someone's like, "Hey, Jamal, this sucks," so you probably need to stop. Like, it's probably not for you, bro. Like, but I've been loved on so much now. It's like I don't know, guys. I mean, maybe this isn't the best one, but it made me happy to create it. Can I say that I'm not? How would I put it? That not like how my work is received is beyond me. No, I'm human, and I can't help that. When I transitioned the newsletter last week to talking to strangers, the lowest engagement, I guess we can say, of any piece I've done recently.
Mm.
This could be for many reasons. What I had to say, and what I asked myself afterwards, is it worth it? Was it worth it to do it?
Mm.
But it is so worth it. Every these conversations to delve into photography. I don't have photos. I don't take pictures with my phone. Like, I genuinely don't take a lot of pictures. Now I do. That's changed my way of being by changing the focus of my newsletter to something that felt authentic and scary. It's changed the way I am. I am talking to strangers 2 or 3 a day, man. Like I'm just hey, can we talk? I met Sarah today. I tried to convince this older black woman who had this beautiful scarf and a wonderful smile if I could take a picture. And we're laughing in this Goodwill because I tracked her down. Like I went to Starbucks. Oh my God, I think she went to Starbucks. Oh, she's in Goodwill. And we're laughing in Goodwill because she's like, I get it. But not even my family members can get me to take a picture. And I was like, Sarah, maybe it's because they don't try as hard as me. And
Wow.
she was like, no. And I was like, okay. She's like, can I give you a hug though? And I said, yes. I can take one.
Uh,
And so this person rejected the photo, but not the interaction, the connection. And I'm like, I can't go. Like, it would feel like betrayal to have not done it, even though it's terrifying, not terrifying, scary to change, right? Because I'm showing up in the world differently. And, that's
yeah.
not easy, man.
No,
It's not
it's
easy.
not. So many people think about changing their brand, their newsletter name, and it, there's a lot of kind of personal analysis
Mhm.
as to why not. Um, but I think talking to strangers is such a great name. One, um, it represents you being this extrovert that we discussed too. Um, and then it does like kind of speak to the moment we're uh, in the creator economy, um, and how important it is to talk to strangers, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
for
I
sure.
wouldn't even have started doing these lives if I didn't talk to Jonathan, who I didn't know, right?
Yeah.
Um, and there's so many opportunities and positive things that can happen in your life when you talk to just random people. And it can be scary, but a lot of the opportunity in the world happens when you're uncomfortable. When you
I
do
might
something
say
that's
all of it.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, I might say all of it,
Yeah.
honestly. Like I reflected on all the moments that were hard. Asking my wife to be my girlfriend, I was terrified.
Yeah.
Trying out for the middle school team, terrified. I didn't even make it. My wife said yes. The coach from middle school said no. Like my passion for the game, it didn't dissolve, but because I think all the things that are like amazing normally come from some semblance because you have to like be vulnerable.
Mhm.
Like, you want to receive anything, you want some reciprocity, you better be willing to put it out there. That's not
Yeah. So
easy.
being vulnerable, like that is like authenticity is a word that gets thrown around a lot. but what does that really mean? Well, part of that is like willing to share something that most people wouldn't share, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
Um, and if you think about your process as a writer, that could be a number of things, right? It could be a story that really changed your life growing up as a kid. It could be something you're struggling with day to day when it comes to consistency or creativity. It could be uh, how something was received, as you mentioned, like how a piece was received, how a change in your direction as a writer, uh, was received, and it could be, um, you know, goals that you set that weren't hit, you know,
Hmm.
and unpacking that, like, w why didn't you reach this goal? Like, what happened? Was it an unrealistic goal? Like, what did things get in the way along, like, on the journey, that you, just don't wanna acknowledge? Is it your environment? Like, there's so many things to unpack, right?
Now, I want to go back because I think people this may resonate with the name change. So I got to
Mhm.
say, I've actually changed the name 4 times in a year and a half. That's not to say anybody should or shouldn't. But I am of the belief that we are not our publication. It is a reflection of us. Um, I don't know how to do this in writing yet. I'm going to work on it, but I'm really silly in real life. I
Mhm.
laugh a lot, and uh, I love crude jokes and I love all these other things. That's a part of me. And I don't
Mhm.
know how to really get that out in my
Mhm.
in my writing. Not that I'm trying to hide it, I just don't know how to yet. And so
Mhm.
that's what I have to say. It's not who we are. And so if anybody has a desire to do that, do it, man. Because people show up for us, for the writer, not just so much for the name.
Yeah.
The other the goals. Oh my gosh, I used to be super goal oriented, smart goals. Yeah, I don't make those. I don't do that. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah.
If I have a goal, like say I work out, my goal is to work out 3 times a week. If I don't feel like going to the gym, that might be a 15-minute workout that day. And I'm gonna do some hit workout and get in and go do my I go to Planet Fitness. I'm gonna go do my massage chair, which is why I'm really there, and then I'm out. I don't have to do this many sets. I don't have to and then normally what happens is I when I show up, I'll do whatever I had initially planned to, but
Mm.
it man, being overdoing, like, who am I? And if a goal takes me off of that,
Yeah.
it's not for it's not
Yeah,
for
I
me.
think the goals that make the most sense for me, are the ones I have full control over, and, I'm sure a lot of people have seen this, on the internet, over the years, but, you know, I'm gonna try to write every day, right?
Mm,
You have full control for that, right?
right.
Saying, "Okay, I wanna have 100 subscribers in 2 weeks, or I wanna have 1,000 subscribers in 6 months, or I wanna have 5 new subscribers a day."
Yeah.
It's just like, no, maybe you should, okay, write every day, and then I'm going to share the newsletter on X platform every day, right? Um,
I would even say, like, why do you need more subscribers?
that's fair. Yep.
I wanna be seen. You know what's really nice? When the same people who've been with me for the last year, when I see their comments, I love seeing everybody, like, anybody who engages with the work because it initiates a relationship potentially, but the people who show up consistently, man, they melt my heart. Like, it's like, "Thank you." Again, I'm looking for depth. So if you're looking for, like, to be seen by many, oh, okay, that's gonna change what you do. So it's really important to know why even you have that goal. Um,
Yeah. What's funny is I think we, the proverbial we,
yeah.
uh, just probably need more outlets, right? Like, I think it's okay to wanna be seen by thousands, tens of thousands of people. Right. Well, then create a that could be a separate newsletter. That could be a separate thing, right? Um, like, I've seen some creators do really well with, kind of creating an external, newsletter brand that, is really positioned well to scale. to
Mm.
like a lot of like subscribers. But I think you absolutely need to have something that is like really close to home and is more representative of who you are as a creator, as an artist, as a writer,
Yeah.
and not focus on growth at all. Like it's about the craft.
Mm.
It's really about the input. It's about the craft. It's about showing up every week, every day, and trying to produce your best work without any care about the outcome, about how many restacks you get, how many likes you get. You're not worried about the engagement. You're just worried about doing your best work. And
Mhm.
the engagement, the attention, the growth is like, uh, kind of secondary to that, right?
I I think that is a lovely, like, amazing, beautiful, sentiment, and
Mhm.
yet we're humans in 2025, sir. Um, so like I said, man, dude, yeah, it hit me like X number of people said, "Yeah, we like this post, Jamal." Like, great job on changing the name. There was a lot less people who said, "Hey, we like this piece," or who like this fountain, or who like this. It was like, ah, God, what am I gonna do, guys? So
That
I think if you can't, like, I wouldn't hold it against somebody who couldn't divest themselves from the outcome. You try your best, do your best, right? That's all you can do. But yeah, the question, was it worth it to write? Because there are some gorgeously written pieces that are so authentic that only so many people will see. It's probably not like I saw a woman, there's this post, like 2,000 likes, and there's this amazing engagement. I was like, oh my gosh, this woman, let me see this. It was beautiful. And then you just kind of look at the post after that, and every week the numbers trickled down. This was a spike in our life. If she lives for that, and I don't know her, but if she lives for that kind of high, it's hard. It's hard, man, to show up every week. And I think that's been,
well, then you start to do something more dangerous, which is optimize for that spike. You try and overanalyze
yeah,
why that one post got a lot of attention, and you start to double, triple down on that one thing, and then you lose sight of like the journey you're on, right? You completely get off the path you're on onto another path,
yeah.
and you're just like trying to figure out how you can recreate that moment, right?
Um,
Which, like, that's not how the moment was created,
right.
right? Like,
Yeah, it's not. It's
that
not.
moment wasn't created by you overthinking, over analyzing like something that happened in the past. You were just showing up, doing your thing, and then like it caught fire, right? I think that can be dangerous as an artist,
It
as a
is
writer.
dangerous. Now, for design, if you're talking about design versus art, like you're intending, if you're talking about marketing, you're intending for that outcome.
Yeah.
Um, that's fine. Like if that is your goal, you just have to know why. If someone's like, I am looking to go viral on Substack to get my these words to as many people as possible. Sure. Just know why you're doing it. And it might be wise to check in and say, how is this changing who I am? How is this goal
Mhm.
affect um
Yeah. So tell me about how you came up with the idea for the like quotes and like the black ink splashes. Like it's such a nice like aesthetic and
yeah.
style, and it's very unique. I haven't really seen that anywhere else.
What
Uh,
you may have seen it somewhere else, and I'll tell you where. Okay,
Okay.
let's go back. I love minimalism. I
Mhm.
traditionally wear all black. I'll be teaching ink, so I'm athletic director and PE teacher for the last 5 years, and before that, I taught history. I'll be moving back into the classroom this fall, and so I'm going to be changing the wardrobe up a bit, so the kids will see me in different colors, just for diversity's sake, whatever. Um, but I love minimalism. I love less. I love how deep simplicity can be, right? Um, so I'm going through this journey, the moniker of artist. And what's one of the books you read? Still Like an Artist.
Yeah,
I said, Austin, that's a great idea. You know what? That blackout poetry seems really cool. I
I
like
remember now. Yeah,
unphones. I'm
you know, I
gonna
didn't even think about it it's because of all the colors.
right. So
You
I
know.
was like, let me try that. And Robert the Contemplative, I'll keep his last name out the streets. But Robert was this beautiful writer, and I read his piece. His piece was like, I want to take one of these quotes, man. People are sharing quotes. This is quote's beautiful, and I blacked out different parts of his excerpt, and I shared it. And it was just it's a found poem, but it's a blackout poem. And the poem was so beautiful from the words. He had these beautifully laid out sentences, and I was like, I feel like I'm doing a disservice to Robert's words. Like, why would I mark out the very beauty that I found the poem in? So I'm going to make. Somebody said found poetry, and I didn't even know what found poetry was. I didn't understand that blackout poetry was under found poetry.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, you can highlight the words. I'll do that. And I just like black and white, so it'll just be black and white because that's all I like
That's
really from a
amazing.
design. And then boom, found notes.
Yeah.
I do have a marketing background. My undergrad was in marketing. And I was an analyst and copywriter for years, a reluctant copywriter. I wanted to do reports and competitive analysis,
Mm.
but my boss was like, hey, we like your words. We're going to need you to put some emails together, some proposals together. So I did it reluctantly. I never called myself a writer on that. So that's where found notes came from. And I just it was summertime and I was also, I wasn't taking college classes. Finishing my master's now. I wasn't, so I had a bunch of time and every day I would do three. I would read three pieces, see if there's anything beautiful. I say three, maybe five. I would just read a bunch of pieces, see if there's anything that stood out to me.
Mm.
And like you said, like I want to show love to these amazing writers.
Right.
Uh, they could have a lot of people reading theirs. They could have nobody. I didn't care. I just wanted to show up and show love if it's what I genuinely felt. And then the name Found Notes. I was like, this is probably catchy. Notes
Yeah.
of inspiring artists or writers. So yeah.
I love it. It's incredible. Well, yeah, I feel like, man, we could talk for hours, dude. Is there anything that you wanted to touch on topic wise that we haven't circled yet? We could talk about the NBA, but that could be like a 2 hour discussion on like
Hold. Dude, that's a tricky one. Things that are sparking my interest now. I will say this: the new shift to talking to strangers, having art that really resonates with who I am, and maybe this is the thing we can talk about, that middle ground. I could have left the newsletter just called Jamal and then changed what I did in it. Um, but I knew that calling it, naming it, branding it, if you will, something different would mean that people would understand what it was. Because I'm looking to build or to facilitate community. So if you don't know what you're being asked into, it's really hard. So I know that if someone's like looking for that community and want to develop that, having a name that speaks to what you're doing,
yeah.
um, really matters. Alex, feeling like oh, Alex, forgive me, brother. Feels like home. There we go.
Oh yeah.
Um, right. Mark writes his letters to his son. Raising Miles, like, you know what this is about. Um, that's really important. So I made that shift because I wanted it to encompass, and it was a commitment for me because um, I didn't want to just do it one time and say I'm done. Like, no, um, this is what I want to do for the next 3 months, 6 months, a year.
Mm.
Like, this is what's bringing me life. So I would say that's a kind of a middle ground. I'm doing what I want, and I'm gonna label it in such a way that if you want to join along in that, you'll know very clearly what you're stepping into.
Correct.
To the
Yeah.
best of my ability to
I think it's
explain
a
that.
brilliant. I think it's a brilliant name for a community online. And you know, I think I know exactly, what I'm getting into, by looking at the design of the newsletter, reading just one post, um, and it would be kind of a call to action to like, hey, like, you know, um, engage in this community even though you don't know anyone. It's like, okay, because like, look, I'm stopping people on the street and doing it, so like you can like hop into a chat or to one of my posts and engage freely and know it's a safe space and like, you know, yeah.
Daniel, you've uncovered my secret because there is this implicit call to action, right? That is everybody's not an extrovert. Everybody's not going to bring have the same joy. But I this week I'll be writing about home,
Mm,
and I talked to four individuals, and I couldn't believe that home kept coming in because I don't have explicit questions I ask every individual that I'm talking to throughout the week. Um, Home kept coming up, belonging, the absence of home. Um, I couldn't believe it.
mm,
In that moment, I had to think. It helped me to reflect because at home isn't something that I long for or anything like that. But it made me stop and say, "What about you? What is home for you? Do you feel like you belong?" And it was beautiful in that way. So I say the implicit call to action, like those moments, even if you're not an extrovert, you just are looking for a conversation, a moment of connection. It is literally right there when you're in a group of people. I love coffee shops. If there's a moment there that can be different. Now there I could be being a man that may make it easier, right?
yeah.
It's less I feel less threatened from the interactions. Maybe I'm completely off, so I can't say that my experience will be the same as everybody else. But I would, man, gosh, it's magical, dude. It really is.
Yeah. That's cool, dude. Um, well, yeah, man, I feel like I've peppered you with questions. Is there anything uh that you want to ask me or Jonathan or what we're up to? Yeah.
And so I love anything because I love that you put it all together. I appreciate the love you guys have shown me. In
Mm,
particular the minimalist aesthetic, dude. Oh my gosh, it's like yes, black and white. You're doing it. Um, as you look to showcase others, it makes me think about the idea of being a curator. And that's,
mhm.
I kind of found out with Found Notes, I became a way for people to find other readers, or sorry, writers, because like, oh, you got like this taste. As you think about that curation, and how you would like to make a name for yourself. Not, and I don't mean that in like it's you focused, but I
Yeah.
am picking up on Daniel and Jonathan's um, taste, their flavor. They have a sense of what is meaningful. How are you feeling like going about that?
Yes. So there are a couple like projects that have launched, but we haven't like been very loud about. So one is um called Shiny Dimes. So
Oh,
Shiny Dime. So David Perel is a great writer who I admire his work, and he wrote this essay called Shiny Dimes, and he talked about how um, when he was a kid, he was uh, you know, putting together this like crazy like remember like Connects back in the day? It was like Legos, but
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
yeah, he was putting together like some crazy like set as a kid, and it had all these steps, right? And he was trying to represent like one of the pieces as like a placeholder. And so
Mm,
he just like put a dime like on the ground and was like, okay, this is a placeholder for this like complex thing, and I'll come back to it. And he thought about how like um if you think about like what is the essence of an essay, right? Like if you needed to boil like an essay down into like one sentence, like could you do it? And uh if you can't, then you probably have some work to do in the essay. And so the whole idea is like these quotes and essays that represent like the entire piece, like the entire point. And it's either like one or two sentences. And so the app is literally just like a sentence or two being typed out, like a typewriter,
mhm.
and then there's a link to the essay, like below. Yeah. So it's shinydimes.xyz. That's the domain right now.
Come on,
Um
XYZ. I talk to me
yeah.
strangers. XYZ. Just got it's live too. Oh,
but
okay.
but so the I think when it comes to discovery, and taste, what I want indie thinkers to be more of like a utility, almost like a protocol that anyone in the community can use. And so being able to submit your own work is like a big moment of transition from where we are now into where I want to be in the future. And so I don't want it to answer your question. Like, I don't really want it to be about me or Jonathan or any one individual. Like, I want the curation to be about more than just two people. It should be about everyone that wants to be a part of the community. And so creating these like single page applications is like one step. Improving like the submission process for the newsletter is another. Um, and I'd love to create more of these like one-off kind of immersive experiences on the internet where you can consume like nuggets of people's work and digestible pieces. Uh, if you're thinking about people that struggle with like attention, like and like being distracted and like reading a 2,000 word essay like on Substack, like right, it could be a little daunting. Um, so if you can like reduce those things down into smaller pieces to get people's attention to grab them, like in the age of TikTok, right? It's like how can you get people to read more? Well, how can create these like really interesting design forward like novel experiences that pull people into the larger pieces, right? So
Mm.
Shiny Dime is literally just like a really quick, like swipeable thing. But if you drill down, then like you can see the whole essay, and that
Oh
is like
my
the
god,
gateway
it's
drug.
swipeable.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, well,
On mobile, it's swipeable. Yeah,
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 that's
yeah.
absolutely amazing because like for whatever these thumbs like to do this, I only have Substack. That's only the only social media I have.
Mhm.
It is enough for me. It is hard enough to
Yes.
limit that.
Mhm.
Um, I think that's an amazing idea. When you're ready, you send it to me. It'll be at the bottom of my newsletter.
Yeah. So like it's like built, but like I've been sitting on it because like I'm waiting to flesh some things out and make the submission and uh, you know, kind of process for updating the database like more kind of automated.
Mhm.
Um, but I want to have like several sites like that are like niche focused. So Shiny Dimes is kind of like nicheless, but like think about like a Shiny Dimes concept for like poets
Yeah.
or for humor or for you know um kind of large language models or for music. Like you can kind of create verticals around these like immersive discovery experiences for writers.
So
And I think that's an untapped opportunity. Yeah.
rather than a filtering it on what like on Shiny Dimes, it is hey this is a entirely different. Um,
Different website, different application. Yeah. But it's all brought to you by indie thinkers. And
yeah,
and you're a marketer, so there's a SEO like domain authority strategy too, right? So all these sites would link to each other.
yeah. And you know what's funny? I am of the because I used to be so in this, dude. I used to be like entrepreneurship. Like, okay, what I have found is that really things are really resonating with people. Like, even if the SEO, like, it does, they don't. If you type in Jamal Robinson poet, I'll show up. I,
Yep.
you know what? I didn't. Who would have guessed? Because you couldn't have. That couldn't have been a search. You
Right.
just couldn't have searched for it a year ago. Like, it just wasn't a thing. It was not
Yep.
a. Who would that be? Unless it was some other Jamal in the world, and he can have it. So this idea of just things that deeply resonate with people, how the algorithm somehow, some way,
Mhm.
Google figures out
Yep.
until they get nefarious and they can do whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, so like, um, I think we put a lot of eggs in the Substack basket, which is fine. But I think we're also putting too much on the shoulders of Substack, right? We're saying we're expecting Substack to solve all of our problems, to like make us all this money, to help find like the little guys like in the
Oh,
world.
that is not their job. Yeah, I do
No,
not
no,
believe Substack is meant for the little guys.
no. So
Yeah,
it's like, well, who's gonna do it then? Like we have to build those things, right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Yes, yes. oh, it's so tough because it's so like,
Mm. You'll see every day on notes somebody talking about Substack should build this and Substack should build that to help, us find writers with smaller audiences. And I'm just like,
so I mentioned like, oh, I would pick writing from whatever kind of writers. Like it didn't matter the size, but for a long time, I was looking for smaller readerships. Right, I really wanted to do that. Um, that required a lot of effort on my part.
mhm.
So I think it's like saying Substack should blah blah blah. Well, like, or we can do it.
And
Like,
really my vision is crowdsourcing, right? Like
yeah,
that's how you solve for this is like you open it up to the internet, and you allow people to submit their work. There's an editorial like aspect of it. There's a we're obviously gonna make sure people aren't submitting like trash, but like
yeah,
but yeah, when you open it up to the internet, like good things can happen. And my favorite example of this is Hacker News. It's very targeted towards engineers and people that are incredibly technical. But what I love about Hacker News is the simplicity of the forum. And like there are no frills, right? It looks like the site was built in 1996. They
yeah.
haven't changed it, right? And they're not going to. But the value is remarkable. And I think over time, a lot of these discovery like engines and platforms that are controlled by people with good taste are gonna really solve the problem of discovery for you know the smaller writers, right? It's not going to be Substack. It's going to be these niche communities that are kind of bubbling up to the top. Um, and when you're trying to find something new, you'll just like maybe once or twice a week, you're going to go to Shiny Dimes and just like swipe for like 5 minutes and be like, oh, this is dope, cool. And if thousands of people did that every week, that would help smaller writers, reach new audiences, right?
Yeah.
Um,
I,
so
like I said, I'm down. You send it out. I'll give
yeah,
some thought. I gotta say, Tabitha,
yeah,
congrats on the year. Tabitha's down there, sobriety superstar. Um, okay. I don't. NBA is on my mind, and I don't want
mhm.
to kill everybody with NBA.
I know. Well, we should do a separate session with Seth just for like. Oh, Seth is like a
Alex,
diehard.
Alex,
Yeah,
too, dude. Like,
yeah.
there's a
So we need to do an NBA live.
that's a good. That's a hey. Hey, I don't know if you'll get sued if you make that a newsletter, and I don't know how many people will know that reference. But that's a good newsletter name.
Yeah,
I
it
think you'll
is.
get got. I think you'll get got. You can't get to me subscribers for something like that.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we'll run it back once the finals are over.
I love it. I appreciate
Yeah,
it, man. Daniel, I
yeah.
appreciate the opportunity to share.
Yes, this was great, man. Definitely be in touch, and we'll do it again soon.
See you, brother.
I did see you.